Let me tell you the story, friends, of 10 unfortunate guests of the mysterious Soldier Island. Who owns the island? Nobody knows. You might say it's unknown.
Foreshadowing.
I suppose you would like to know the names of these welcome guests. Well, here it goes. Anthony Marston, Mrs. Rogers, General MacArthur, Mr. Rogers, Emily Brent, Dr. Armstrong, Inspector William Bloor, Captain Philip Lombard, Vera Clairthorne, and finally Justice Wargrave. In no particular order, of course. Our story begins here, as our train puffs along the rolling hills to Sticklehaven, and our guests travel to their common destination, Soldier Island. Dun dun dun.
Y'all seem like an odd group of people.
Welcome, welcome, esteemed guests of Mandalay Mansion, Soldier Island. I hope you will find your stay most satisfactory.
Psst. Hey, baby, you're kind of cute in a school teacher kind of way.
What a wonderful spot, if I do say so myself. Yo, where's the drinks? Where's the host keeping himself at? I'm ready to party.
Oh, dearie me, young boy, shame on you, you devilish popcorn.
Greetings, I will show you your rooms now.
Huh. Well, it's about time.
You can speak with Mr. Owens if you have an issue, sir.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Ten little soldier boys went out to dine. One choked his little self, and then there were 9. 9 little soldier boys sat up very late. One overslept himself, and then there were 8. 8 little soldier boys traveling in Devon. One said he'd stay there, and then there were 7. 7 little soldier boys chopping up sticks. One chopped himself in halves, and then there were 6. 6 little soldier boys playing with hive. A bumblebee stung one, and then there were 5. 5 little soldier boys going in for law. One got into chancery, and then there were 4. 4 little soldier boys going out to sea. A red herring swallowed one, and then there were 3. 3 little soldier boys walking in the zoo. A big bear hugged one, and then there were 2. 2 little soldier boys sitting in the sun. One got all frizzled up, and then there was 1. 1 little soldier boy left all alone. He went and hanged himself, and then there were none. Oh, well, isn't that nice? Oh, I do love a good nursery rhyme.
Yum yum, what a fine dinner, old chap.
Sir, Mrs. Rogers prepared this evening's meal of fine tongue.
My compliments to the chef. Waha.
And then I was like, well, I think you're guilty.
Jolly spiffing rot, eh?
Well, how did the family take it? They were quite devastated, of course. They always are.
You're familiar with my friend down in Sticklehaven, eh?
Quite. His moral character I cannot commend, but his family is quite upstanding from what I hear. The old families always are, I say.
Well,
So, as I was saying, do you like me, or just a platonic love, eh, baby? Yeah?
Huh. Soldiers. Quaint these things, aren't they?
What fun. They're like the 10 little soldiers from the poem hanging in my room.
Foreshadowing.
Well, fancy that! I have a copy in my room, too.
Me too?
Same.
Ladies and gentlemen, silence please. You are charged with the following indictments. Edward George Armstrong, that you did upon the 14th day of March 1925, caused the death of Louisa Mary Cleese. Emily Caroline Brent, that upon the 5th November 1931, you were responsible for the death of Beatrice Taylor. William Henry Bloor, that you brought about the death of James Stephen Lander on October 10th, 1928. Vera Elizabeth Claythorne, that on the 11th day of August, 1935, you killed Cyril Hamilton. Philip Lombard, that upon the day in February 1932, you were guilty of the death of 21 men, members of an East African tribe. George Gordon MacArthur, that on the 4th of January 1917, you deliberately sent your wife's lover, Arthur Richmond to his death. Anthony James Marston, that upon the 14th day of November last, you were guilty of the murder of John and Lucy Combs. Thomas Rogers and Ethel Rogers, that on the 6th of May, 1929, you brought about the death of Jennifer Brady. Lawrence John Wargrave, that upon the 10th day of June, 1930, you were guilty of the murder of Edward Seaton. Prisoners at the bar, have you anything to say in your defense?
She'll be quite all right, I'm sure. As a medical doctor with years of experience, and I assure you I've never been drunk, I am confident you'll make a full recovery naturally.
We found a gramophone in the closet space. This record here says, Swan Song. Curious indeed.
What a relief.
Relief? But where did that horrible voice come from? It sounded like...
Preposterous! Just some sort of silly old prank of someone pulling something pulling our leg.
Practical joke, my foot.
Well, by golly, it surely wasn't one of us.
But where's the rum? I think this occasion requires some liquid courage.
I have never touched a drop in my life, and I don't plan to start now. I think it would be best if we were to explain ourselves.
I don't have anything to confess.
I was simply doing my civil duty, and the strenuous job of being a judge often requires. I sentenced a man to his demise. It was a bad day for all, but mostly him.
I'll tell you about a little boy, Cyril Hamilton. The poor fool. I was his governess and was watching him the day he drowned. I tried the best I could to save him, but he was an impressively poor swimmer, and unfortunately, so was I. I was not at fault.
I suppose I have something to say as well. A young bloke under my command, one of our finest. The war took its course naturally, and it took the life of a brave young man.
What about you, young man?
Funny story, my accusation was actually true. Oh, you're one to judge me. See, what happened? Peace, I'm out. Y'all gonna die.
If I might say a word, sir.
Go ahead, Rogers.
I would like to assure everyone that Mrs. Rogers and I are basically guiltless of our accusations. She did die under our care, but it wasn't really our fault. Circle of life, you know. It was bound to happen at some point.
Naturally, there was no preventing a tragedy as such. Next? Well, I didn't do anything wrong. A woman died on my table. It happens. So sue me. No, don't sue me. That is the opposite of the point I'm trying to make. Okay then, moving on. Blah. I see you look like you have something you want to share?
Me?
Yes, you.
Very well. On the case as usual, I was hunting down a criminal, found him all right, chuckled the lad into prison, never did see him again.
You really are all terrible. Beware!
You're not exempt from this, Emily. Need to remind you your name was mentioned in this swan song? What do you have to say for yourself?
Like I said before, my conscience is clear.
Well, since it seems you're having a particularly difficult time remembering, would you like to call a friend?
Me! Okay, so this is how the story goes. I hit a rabbit. Bosh, probably nothing. Gotta get to that party, woot woot. As it turns out, I hit 2 kids. Such fools. They ran out into the street out of a cottage. What bad luck it was on me. I lost my license for a whole bloody year. It was such a hassle. My, what pluck.
Bad luck for you? Or the children?
Well, I hadn't thought of it before, but them, I suppose. I had to leave that party, though, when the police came. Missed the drinks. We should stay for a while and figure out who put the gramophone here. It will be fun.
Oh no, he is dead! Call the doctor! Oh wait, yes. 'Tis but a poison.
Never knew a man to go like that. A choking fit? Bah! Not the best way to go. Not that there's any right way.
Oh my, just like the poem. Oh.
Was it in his glass? Yes, none touched it but him. Suicide, perhaps?
Would have never thought. On my word.
Perhaps now we've taken care of what we should retire to our rooms. Nighty-night, don't let the bedbugs bite. Ahem. I got to do the surgery! Let's do it, too, my dudes!
Are you fit to operate, Doctor?
Of course, 100%. I could do this all day, son. All day! I'm not drunk if that's what you're asking. I mean, I'm not as thin as you drunk I am.
Mrs. Rogers? Mrs. Rogers? Wake up.
Hate to break it to you, but in my medical opinion, she appears to be not in the same state she was, yesterday.
What, sir? What?
Well, alive. Ahem. Oh dear, I can't seem to get that tune out of my head.
Or was it her heart? She was a bit rheumatic-y.
No, nope. But did she take anything to help her sleep?
No, sir. Just what you gave her last night.
Okay, bye.
No sign of anybody out there. No motorboat or anything.
Devon's a sleepy country. Things are usually late.
For the life of me, I can't place why that young man would do himself in like that. It's mighty unsettling. I demand a motive.
So, how about this weather? Ah, well, I'm simply starving if I do say so myself. I'm sure Mrs. Rogers will have a spiffing breakfast prepared for us. Well, this is disappointing.
I'm afraid you'll have to be patient with Mr. Rogers. He's a bit short-handed this morning. His wife got a bad case of, well, to be quite honest, I'm not sure what happened to her.
Well, what happened to the old woman?
Well, yeah, she must have been quite tired this morning. You know how it is. I guess dies in your house. Upsetting, really. She is also, in fact, quite dead. But besides that, I expect she'll be just fine.
Oh, the horror! 2 deaths in such a short time. It's almost as if it's some kind of terrible joke.
Don't be ridiculous, you frivolous Patsy. Armstrong, in your professional opinion, what is the cause of her untimely death? It seems to have been poison. Oh, it seems her heart certainly did fail to beat. Why, I know not.
Conscience!
Good God, woman.
What do you mean by that, Brent?
Oh, nothing. Just guilt consumed her for a dastardly crime. Her death, call it if you will, an act of God.
Did she have anything to drink before she went to bed?
Rogers assures me that she did not.
Aha! And yet, his is the only word. As a talented, handsome inspector, I conclude, therefore, that Rogers killed his wife.
I hate everything that you choose to be. Listen to yourself. Get a hold on yourself, man.
A man would never do that to his wife. I say to you, good day, my poor air-headed fellow. The ocean calls me. I feel I must stay outside for a while.
I really want to get away from here.
Same girl.
Just imagine. Can you really believe Rogers killed his wife?
Bosh. Either way, she deserved it. A soul must be punished according to one's crime.
But, Mrs. Brent, you yourself were accused of murder.
Hardly. Let me explain to you. Good riddance. Time for my tea.
I suppose the old butler did his wife in.
Well, there is a great possibility that the elderly woman in their care could have been killed quite easily, I suppose. But I'm a doctor, of course. I wouldn't know a thing like that.
What about that old chap Owen, eh? Who says he's not the one knocking us off?
You might be onto something there. I have to give it to you. Well, let's search the island for our unknown host.